Hi, everybody. This is Tom Fish from Action Coach Two Rivers, and I'm here today with Nancy Gravely from Magdalena's Garden. Nancy, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
So let's go ahead and get started. Tell me a bit about your business.
Okay. I formed Magdalena's Garden so that I could provide a variety of services to people in the community. Under that umbrella, I provide free samples for people of essential oils. I do retail sales. I help people sign up for wholesale accounts so that they can get the better pricing and all the perks. I conduct webinars and to provide training and teach people about the properties of the oils and how they can be used for different issues and concerns. And then I also do one-on-one consultations with people. If they have a specific issue they want to deal with, I help them weed through the wide variety of oils that are out there so that they can find what will work for them.
Oh, okay, great. So how long ago did you start Magdalena's Garden? You didn't say how long ago.
Yeah, we're just coming up on 1 year. Next month
will
be my 1 year. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
But you've been in the healthy living, essential oils, herbal medicine, kind of herbal supplements field for a while, haven't you been?
Yes, I started in the 1980s with herbal medicine and natural medicine. And so it was like 40 years that I had been into it. And I had tried essential oils before, but I just didn't know that much about how to use them and their properties. And so when I found doTERRA's oils, I was like, this is it. The quality was really excellent. And they provide all the training for you. They're one of the big benefits of it is all the educational resources available to you and the community that uses it. You know, I do webinars, but I'm part of a team of people who provide a lot of training. So got a good background in it, but I love the oils now.
Right. Oh, wow. All right. So who do you serve really? So who's your best customer? We call that your target audience.
I was trying to narrow that down because of course it's other people that are interested in herbs and natural medicine, but there's also athletes who want to improve their performance, and a lot of the oils are good for like muscular aches and joint pain. So we have a lot of athletes that use them. Parents use them with their children because it's a nice, safe alternative. They're excellent for like bumps and scrapes and bruises and upset stomachs and calming kids down. And then I use them with my animals a lot. We live in a rural area, and so fleas and ticks are a big issue for us. And I was always concerned about what we were putting on the dogs for that. And these work great. I've tried like, you know, burge yeast and all the different natural remedies and just didn't have a lot of success with that. But the oils work great and they're healthy for the dogs. So that's a big benefit. So and then people who meditate.
Okay. Because of the aromatherapy thing, you know, relaxing and being able to calm your mind down a bit.
And it's been over 3,000 years they've been used in different religious traditions. People have heard about anointing with them and burning the incense in the temples and all. So the oldest record they have is from 1650 BC. They found a piece of papyrus that had one of the recipes for the anointing oils on it. So they've been used a long time for people in sacred settings and meditation and prayer.
Okay. Well, we can have a different conversation about narrowing down your target market and maybe segmenting it so that you have messages to each, you know, so you're laser focused on each segment. We could have a conversation about that later. But I was interesting about so I have arthritis in my thumbs. Would any of your essential oils be good for, you said joint pain?
Yes, we have several that are good for it. And that's the other thing that I like about this. You can try them out for free and find out which particular oil works for you. Everybody's individual and everybody's constitution is individual. So there's one that is generally well, used by a lot of different people, and that's called Deep Blue. And that comes as an oil or a rub, either one. And you just rub it into the joints and it soothes the inflammation. It takes the pain away. There's analgesics in it. So it'll take the pain away, and then it also soothes the inflammation that's causing it a lot of times. And we have copaiba oil, which you can use the two together, and that's like the best that you can get.
Oh, wow.
Using those two together. Yeah.
That's interesting. Thank you very much for letting me know that. So what was the greatest, or I don't want to necessarily put COVID in the past tense because it's still lingering out there. So what has been the greatest impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on your business?
Well, there's been two parts to it. On the one hand, it made people more aware of the need to boost their immune system and support their bodies that way. And they were looking for antiseptics and antibacterials that didn't have any toxic side effects and weren't hard on their bodies. So on one hand, it increased the demand, right? People wanted, we have a product called On Guard that's really good for boosting your immune system, and it's an antiseptic too. But then on the other hand, the suppliers and manufacturers had trouble getting us, you know, it wasn't the oils as much as it was the boxes and the bottles and that kind of thing.
Supply chain stuff, right?
Yeah.
So what one or two actions have you taken that have made a difference? And how, you know, how's it working? Yeah.
Well, for COVID in particular, we had to switch. Normally we worked one-on-one with people in their homes and had a more personal interaction with them. And because of COVID, we had to go high tech and start doing everything by webinars. So I had to learn Zoom, and I had to learn all the different, you know, things that go along with doing things with social media and all. So it was good. I mean, it's been very helpful. This way we can talk to 100 people instead of one or two at one time, you know, but it was quite a bit to learn all of a sudden.
Speaking of webinars, did you find that people started having webinar or Zoom fatigue?
Yes.
Did your numbers go down?
Well, what we tried to do was then make it more interactive. So rather than just talking to people, we would send them the oils through the mail and let them sample the oils while we were doing the class. So yes, people did get Zoom fatigue,
right? But
we had to shift again, you know, and work with what we had. Yeah.
That's a good response. That's clever thinking. Okay, so during times like this, business owners must start thinking differently, right? You haven't had a pivot session or anything like that with me, but how have you gotten yourself to think differently?
Well, it was necessity. You know, so I needed to do it, but I also really enjoy learning different things. And I think that is kind of critical. You have to be willing to go with the flow and not get stuck in one way of doing things. And, you know, keep your mind open. Again, I have a great team where people come up with different ideas that we share. And so we collaborate together. So keeping an open mind.
So this is an interesting question.
Okay.
It's been said that smart people learn from their mistakes and wise people learn from the mistakes of others. So in the spirit of transparency, would you kindly be vulnerable enough to talk about a mistake or two that you may have made along the way, and what other entrepreneurs might be able to learn from your experience?
Yes. I think the one thing that I did not anticipate, because I had the background in herbalism and natural medicine, I thought everybody was on the same wavelength as I was. You know, I had spent a lot of time with people that were doing this. And when I came out and started introducing the essential oils, I didn't realize how many people just had no idea of what I was talking about. They had no experience in self-care and managing their own health. So there was a big learning curve. a big part of this first year of my business has been in educating other people.
Ah, okay.
And so fortunately, I was able to withstand that. You know what I mean? If I had been needing to have a big paycheck right from the beginning at the onset, that would have been more difficult. So I'm glad that I had the ability to, you know, go through that learning curve with people and provide a great deal of education. And it's paying off now. Now people are, you know, there's word of mouth.
Mm-hmm.
As more and more people find out about it, it's getting easier.
Educating the marketplace is
Yes.
always really important. So as you spread, you wind up having to continue to educate as you reach other markets and spread your wings a little bit. Educating is a big part of our job, because as educated customers are good customers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other lessons that you might want to share?
I would start out with a good tax accountant at the get-go.
Uh-huh.
And have them help you set up your bookkeeping.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a great deal of time in April, you know, like getting I had all of the records, but just figuring out, like I use Quicken, figuring out how to set all that up. So I would do that at the front end now instead of at tax time, you know, and that way it's just easier to keep it throughout the year.
Right. Oh, well, the first year is full of so many lessons, so many learnings, right? Just getting your business started. And then on top of that, you had to deal with COVID.
Yes.
Yeah. So very awesome. Thank you so much. Second to last question. Okay. I have your email contact information and everything like that, but people who are watching or listening don't necessarily know how to get a hold of you. So if somebody wants to reach out to you and learn more about what you do and about your products, or living a healthier, cleaner life, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you, Nancy?
My website.
Okay.
I have a website. It's magdalenasgarden.net. If they go there, they can learn more about the products, and my contact information is there. Mm-hmm. They can also search for me. I'm on Google.
Okay.
So they can Google Magdalena's Garden and the information will come up there. I'm on Facebook. So
is there an email address and a phone number that they might be able to use?
Yes, it's Nancy@magdalenasgarden.net is my email. Okay. And then my phone number is 540-356-0890.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Last question.
Okay.
Tell me, what is most inspiring to you today?
About the interview or the business or
about life? It could be the business, it could be just what's going on in the world. What is most inspiring to you?
I think we're in a time of change. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to that. I think the old ways are served a purpose, but they're no longer meet all of our needs. And we're all in the midst of a big change. And I really have hope for that. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do. It's like with the climate, so many people now are coming up with, you know, different ways of breaking down plastic, electric cars, using different kinds of energy. And it's nice to be here to see that. There is a lot of turmoil and a lot of upset, but there's a lot of innovation and a lot of new things coming forward. So that keeps me going. Okay. And then in my business, this is like a lifelong learning thing I've come into. I've taken the certification that's available from doTERRA. I'm getting ready this fall to go in and get my national and international certifications. Oh, cool. So there's different associations and federations that provide ongoing training. So I can really see myself doing this the rest of my life. And that keeps me going too. There's always something new to learn, more out there.
Wow, you've gotten me excited. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for spending time with us and for investing this time in helping the business community by allowing yourself to be interviewed.
Well, thank you, Tom. I really appreciate the invitation.